What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back to the Late Night Show with Dr. Coder. This is the first official late night show of the new year. You know, we've been on the live stream this year, but this is the first time that we're on the live stream doing the late night show. So I'm excited to be here. My name is Kojo, checking in live from what was that rainy, but somewhat productive day here in Los Angeles, California. And we're going to be talking about 3 things to do when you feel sad. We're going to be using the mental health workbook, of course. We're going to be using this book, Feeling Good. Toss a stage mind, keep it moving. So we'll be using this book, and I have 3 things to do, 3 things that we should do when we're feeling sad. But before we start, use the comment section to let me know what your name is and where you're checking in from. Zoe, come here. Come on. Y'all got to see Zoe. Zoe, stop it. Stop it. Not now, Zoe. Don't get my laptop. Y'all can see Zoe in the corner, right? Michelle said, my time. Good evening, Allison. How are you doing? Jacqueline, how are you doing? New watcher here, Jennifer from Southgate, Michigan. Jennifer, I appreciate you. Shane says Arkansas in the house. I used to say Arkansas, but now I know better. Brooke from Arkansas as well. Allison from Maine. Sophia from San Fran. Cheryl from Ohio. Madison, Anita's from Atlanta. What's going on? Olivia from Arizona. Rachel from Red Deer, Alberta. I know where that's at. Olivia from Arizona. Zoe, no. Nope. We can play later, Zoe. Jacob from South Carolina. Kwana from Oregon. Sandra from Minneapolis. Devin says, sitting here having a hard time, and this pops up. Thank you from Toronto. Devin, I appreciate you. Love from Toronto. Stephanie from Pennsylvania. Buffalo in the house. Maryland. Wyoming. Grieving widow Sarah. Very sorry, about your loss. And all of us here support you. And I'm grateful for you, Sarah. Kelly from Alexandria, Virginia. What's up? What's up? Maryland in the house. Michigan in the house. Evelyn from NYC, Philippines, Louisiana. Jill, hey, this is a live stream. What's up, Chicago? Come visit Red Deer. Well, I'll be in Red Deer sometime. I have a family out there, so I'll it's like a 3-hour flight to Edmonton, and you drive down to Red Deer. I know exactly where you're at. Philippines, Colombia, South Carolina. All right, so we're gonna talk about 3 things to do when you feel sad, right? And I could have taken this live a couple of different ways, right? We could have said, when you feel depressed or whatever the case may be. Zoe, this ball we'll play later. Not now. We'll play later. I could take this live a couple of different ways, but whether it's sadness or depression, for the purposes of this live stream, it doesn't really matter, right? The key is that when you feel sad or when you feel low, it's hard to do anything, right? So I came up with 3 things to do when you're feeling sad. And for the 3rd tip, we're going to use the workbook, and we're going to go through it, all right? So we will do our best to have these tips. Let me see what Jacqueline says. I'm doing the managing day-to-day activities in your book. So far this week has been very successful. That's awesome. And we get to define what success is for ourselves, right? Just keep that in mind. If you've had a productive day and you're proud of what you've done, that's a very successful day. All right. So the first tip, let me type it in here. The very first tip of what to do when you're feeling sad, number 1 is do the easiest thing on your to-do list. And this is very important. I want you to do the easiest thing on your to-do list. All right, so number 1, do the easiest thing on your to-do list. All right, so I take this very seriously. The very easiest thing that you have to do that thing, right? So if you're feeling sad and you're feeling low, let's say you have a to-do list of like 7 things, right? You have to go to the post office, you have to go to the gym, you have to go to work, you got to go to school, you have to do the dishes. All right, all those things are kind of hard, right? Because you have to get out the house, you have to drive, boom, boom, boom. So what's something easy, right? If you have anything that's relatively easy, find the easiest or the simplest thing to do and put that on your to-do list, and then do that thing so that when you cross it off, you can get that boost from doing it, right? So for me, let me see. Let's say if I'm feeling sad, what's the easiest thing that I can do? It's probably make my bed, right? Now, making a bed can be difficult, right? If you make it like the proper way, we have to put the sheets in and tuck it in. That's not like an easy task. But out of all the things that I have to do, making my bed would probably be the easiest thing to do, right? And when you do this, right, it's going to give you that boost, the self esteem boost, because you're proud of what you've done, right? You did something that's fairly easy, you know. And now making the bed can be hard, right? But between making the bed and going out and being social and having to do groceries, that might be the easier thing, right? And I see Jacqueline is talking about post office. Yeah, so I love going to the gym, but the post office, I hate it because I have to wait in line. And the post office is one that I hate going to the post office, right? You know, so I'll probably start off with making my bed first. But if the post office is fairly easy for you, do that. You wanna be proud of yourself, right? I always talk about being kind, you know, online. And it's one thing to be kind to other people, but sometimes it's really hard to be kind to yourself and to give yourself credit for certain things, right? So if you're sad, and also if for those people who are depressed, right, the simple things become very hard to do. And you're also very irritable, right? You know, a lot of times when you're not feeling your best, if somebody kind of like, you know, pisses you off or says something, like you might go into like a whole, you know, tantrum because like you're already kind of like on the edge, right? So we have to really manage our mood when we're not feeling our best. All right. And Kwana says, so glad I got the workbook for Christmas. So shout out to whoever got you that book. I gotta give them a love of the show. Mariah, the link should be in my bio. My sister is 34 and was diagnosed ADHD last year. I told her about your book and she just ordered it. Very excited. Anna, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yes, I can make more videos about PTSD. And even though I post about ADHD the most, we will be covering all the topics this year. We'll do PTSD, we'll do borderline, we'll do bipolar 1 and 2, we'll do cyclothymia, we'll do schizoaffective disorder. We'll cover it all. Schizophrenia, trust me, we will cover it all. Abraham, I've been well. I appreciate you. And Olivia says, I just brushed my teeth to this. All right, so let's go ahead and give Olivia another love to show, and I'll tell you why. We're going to give Olivia a love of the show because brushing your teeth is, I don't know if I can call brushing your teeth an easy task, right? Now, it sounds like it's simple, but if you're not feeling your best, right, it can be really hard to brush your teeth and or take a shower, right? So if you brush your teeth, right, you know, put down your to-do list, you know, and cross it off and say, okay, I've done 1 of 8 things. So now I'm somewhat productive, right? So that way you don't get to the end of the day and you're like, dang, I didn't do anything. And then you start to feel bad about yourself, right? Evelyn says, extremely irritable right now. Hey, it's all good. Sometimes when I get to this point, I like to just kind of separate myself and, you know, give myself time to like think. And, you know, I'm not the most social when I'm irritable because I don't want to say something that I'm going to regret. You know, it's happened before, and you just have to, you know, forgive yourself and do your best to move on. Kwan says, every morning, the first thing on my morning routine is drink water. Oh, I like that. Making the bed is mine. But I realize that I now sleep on top of another blanket to just hold. No, I've done that before. I'm in chapter 2 of the book. Jacqueline, that's awesome. And what's the youngest? I think it's 6. But I've seen people diagnosed at 5 before. I don't think I've ever diagnosed somebody at 5, but I've seen that. What are some things to try and do? Decompress. Justin, once again, the simplest thing, right? So let's say you're not feeling too good. Go outside and just take in nature. Like when I go outside, I just take in the fresh air. I feel so much better. I've been sad for the last couple of days. I was just in car accident a couple weeks ago. Sophia, Sophia, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but very sorry to hear that. And I'm happy that you're here. I'm happy that you're still alive. And let me see. I did not even get out of bed for 3 days, been having a hard time. Right. So like Catherine said, first of all, thank you for sharing. And just understand that there's no shame if you're in bed for days on end, right? This means that you're struggling. So when you're at that point, the simplest thing that you can do, if that's even let's say you get out of bed, Catherine, and then you brush your teeth and you hop back into bed. You still have to give yourself a little bit of credit. You have to say that you've been, you've been productive, right? So you have to be proud of that, right? I worked out for 2 days in a row. Another love of the show. Savannah, I scheduled first therapy appointment in 2 years. Back to back, love of the shows. All right, I appreciate you. And Olivia says, it feels good. I had to leave work because my anxiety had been through the roof from a med change, and I feel so much fresher after having done it. So simple, but really refreshing. Olivia, thank you for sharing. And sometimes, we don't have to reinvent the wheel, so shout out to one of my mentors, Dr. Michael Jeffries. He's a psychiatrist back in Virginia, and he's somebody who I would ask a lot of questions to when I was at the old hospital and I was stuck. And he would always tell me, Kojo, don't reinvent the wheel. If you have a patient, blah, blah, think about another patient who went through the same thing and try and do that and work with it. We don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? So a bit of a different thing, but sometimes a small change go a long way, go a long, long, long way. I had therapy today. Congratulations. These are all wins. These are all things that you should be giving yourself credit for, by the way. Yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Like all these comments, I just want to show them to my mom, Jacob is going to hit the gym in about 30 minutes. Another love of the show. All right. So the second thing you can do when you feel sad, right, is talk to someone you trust. Talk to someone you trust. All right. And I have personal experience with this, right? So this weekend I was feeling sad, and it's because of a football game, right? So it might sound like a silly thing, right? But when the Titans lose, it really affects me emotionally because I was watching the game and I was all into the game. And at one point we were winning. So I was looking at my laptop and I was trying to look up flights to go to Nashville because I thought that we were going to have a home playoff game. And we ended up losing the game. So after we lost the game, I was like, it just crushed me. And I was feeling sad. And then my sister called me because she knows that I love the Titans, right? So after I talked to her on the phone for an hour and a half, my mood went back up, So when you talk to somebody that you trust, when you're not feeling your best, it goes a long way, And it could even be somebody online, right? We have our the link to the Discord. If you're on Facebook and you're watching, click the link there. There should be the link to the Discord there, and that's a community of people who are like-minded, and just talking to somebody in there could help you feel a little bit better, right? And let me see what Jacob. I appreciate you, my guy. And the reason why I spread the positivity is because we don't go far with negativity, right? That's what sells. But when I go somewhere, and actually, I'll give you a real life example. So there's 2 post offices that I go to here in LA. I've been going to them to ship off the books, right? The books that I've signed. And one post office, there's a lady by the name of Angela. Actually, I'll give her a shout out. So, which post office is? I think this is the one in Sherman Oaks, right? So, the Angela at the Sherman Oaks post office, right? I went in there with an ass load of books, and she scanned each book, and she was patient with me, and she didn't have an attitude, and that made me feel so good, right? Now, I've been to another post office in, was it Van Nuys or Studio City? I went to another post office where somebody was that's kind, and her attitude just kind of it messed up my day for an hour and a half because I was why would you have an attitude, So positivity, it makes you feel better. So I don't like being around negative situations and negative things. Missy, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I don't know where to start. Husband left after 25 years married, and COVID, then father died, then everything finally just hit me this holiday all alone. So, Catherine, very sorry to hear that. Thank you for sharing. And, a lot of people are going through tough times, right? And sometimes, unfortunately, when it rains, it pours, right? So, loss of a relationship, and then we know how awful COVID was. And then, you lost your father. So I'm very sorry to hear that. And I'm happy that you're here, because sometimes people go through things like this and, they don't, they're not here. So I'm happy that you're here. You got to take it one day at a time, right? If you can get from Monday to Tuesday and from Tuesday to Wednesday, that's a big win. That's a huge win, so I'm proud of you. The link to the Discord, it should be in my Facebook bio, I want to say. It should be in my Facebook bio, Olivia. And Renee, oh, oh, oh man, it made me sad. I was rooting so hard for them. Uh, Kendra, you never got the notification? That's weird. That is really weird. I'm not sure why. I'm back on StreamYard, so I'm not sure why. That's weird. And I'll try Discord late. My dog is yeah, Zoe. My dog is she's out here upset because I'm not throwing the ball. She's waiting for me to throw the ball. And before I get to the third tip, let me talk about this real quick. So, Kayla, this is very difficult, with grief, and I haven't experienced this personally. Both my parents are here, and sometimes I have this thing, like this, like anticipatory grief, where sometimes you grieve people before they leave because you're afraid of losing them, or so sometimes I struggle with that. So, like, while my parents are here and while my loved ones are here, I do my best to be thankful for them, and should the time come that they're not here, I do my best to be grateful for the time that I had with them. So that's the advice I could offer with you. But don't judge yourself, right? So grief is not a linear process, right? So you might feel great for a week, and then after that, you might feel like, oh, I'm better now. And then the next week you feel even worse than you felt when it first happened, right? So grief is something that's tricky. I don't understand grief completely, and I'm not going to act like I do. And I don't think anybody understands grief fully, not even the smartest psychologist or psychiatrist in the world. Nobody understands grief fully. So, I feel like your best is good enough. Like, you're doing the best that you can, right? You just got to take it one day at a time. You really have to take it one day at a time. Yeah, like Carla says, one day at a time. And for me, there's people that I'm grieving still from like 2017, 2018. Sometimes you grieve past relationships. Sometimes you grieve past friendships, and one day at a time. Literally one day at a time. One hour at a time. Megan just happened to be the page video I clicked on accidentally and ended up on. Well, hey, let me give you a love of the show. I appreciate you being here, Megan, and hopefully, you get some value from this page. And let me see this real quick, and then I'll give you the third point. Any tips on how to overcome mental exhaustion? I struggle with anxiety and was recently diagnosed with ADHD. It's hard to quiet my mind and get pleasure from things I once enjoyed because I find it difficult to be fully present. So, Callie, everything that you said here, I would say I struggle with. I haven't been diagnosed with anxiety officially. I have ADHD, but I know I get anxious sometimes. And I struggle to be present. And when you struggle to be present and moments pass you by, sometimes you might have this guilt that comes with it, where you're like, I wasn't able to be present enough, and moments are passing me by. So I think one thing that can be helpful is to be kind to yourself. You can't judge yourself. And in moments where you realize that you are present, realize that and give yourself credit for it, right? So let's say you're laughing with somebody, right? Like the second tip that I had, things to do when you feel sad, talk to someone you trust, right? When I was sad about the football game and I was talking to my sister, we're laughing and we're going back and forth, right? When you're laughing, and you're having a good time, you are present, because it's hard to laugh and you're not thinking about the past. You're not depressed about the past. You're not anxious about the future because you're laughing, right now, Callie, that if you're watching this live still, you're present because you're listening to what I'm saying, right? And people are commenting. So right now you're present. You're not thinking about the past. You're not thinking about the future. So in moments like this, give yourself credit for being present, and sometimes because of ADHD, you may not be fully present at every single moment, right? So you can't judge yourself based off of neurotypical standards, right? Because that's going to make you more sad. So give yourself credit for what you've done. And ADHD and anxiety it's quite the combination, right? But you can still thrive with it. We don't have to be in survival mode all the time. So anything you can find to make yourself present, whether it's meditation or laughing, you got to take credit for that. Zoe. Anytime she wants my attention, she'll drop a ball. I'm not throwing the ball with you right now, Zoe. Chill out. That dog is something else. Let me see. You hit the nail on the head saying that I was grieving before he was gone. He was very sick and it was a long time coming. Yeah, Kayla, I know how that feels. Sometimes I have to, so give me this. Nah, we can play with these toys later. We can later, Zoe. Later. Y'all should see the dog. But yeah, sometimes when you grieve in advance, the worst part about that is that when you grieve in advance, they're still here. And then like after they leave, you have to grieve, So doing your best to be present and just, count your blessings, right? And that's why it's good to journal and meditate, And Evelyn said, number one is the easy thing to do on your to-do list first. It'll give you motivation to keep going. Yeah. Yeah. And that's why every now and then when I have a lot to do, I'll start with the hardest thing just because my ADHD brain likes to go backwards sometimes. But normally I start with the easiest thing and then I go from there, right? All right, let me answer this question and I'll get to the third tip. And Leanne, I'll probably have to do a whole live stream on this because this is a very popular question. ADHD within motherhood. Definitely feel like I'm letting my kids down because I can't keep my thoughts together. I forget plans. All right, so I think having ADHD as a parent can be difficult. And the reason why I did the ADHD tips for mothers, I should do one for dads too, because I want this page is for everybody. But the reason why I started making the ADHD tips for mothers is because I feel like society kind of expects the mom to be the primary caregiver. I may be wrong, but I feel like society kind of expects the mom to be the primary caregiver, right? So, when you're a mom and you feel like you're coming up short, you may judge yourself a bit harder, right? Like you're behind on things. But one thing you can do is to be authentic and sometimes let your kids know where you're struggling, because ADHD runs in families. I'm not saying that your kids have it, but it's a genetic thing. So I think living authentically can be helpful. Authentically, is that a word? But the best thing you can do is to make it easy for yourself. I think kids with ADHD do better than adults because they have a parent who's helping them out and making things easy for themselves, right? So the things that you do really well, do that. And the things that you struggle with, ask for help. Ask for help as best as you can. Like I ask for help all the time. I don't know how to manage my own schedule. I don't know how to, even my finances. I don't know how to manage my own finances. I just, let my team take care of the business stuff. And, whenever you do come up short, right? It's important to be kind to yourself. This is why it's helpful to have, a partner or friends who don't judge you. Something as simple as you forgetting your wallet, and you go to the gas station and you don't have your wallet. That can destroy your whole day, because you're like, dang, I did it again, right? So being kind to yourself goes a long, long way. What was number one? Oh, Zoe, nope. We'll play later, Zoe. We'll play later. Number one was to do the easiest thing on your to-do list. Number two was to talk to someone you trust. And number three is when you're feeling sad is to write it out / embrace your emotions. All right. Embrace your emotions. And let me put this right here. But real quick, let me see what Leanne says. My husband's very understanding and we both pick up slack for each other. I'm definitely not as kind as I should be with myself. Right. So now that you can take small steps over time, but we have to give a double love to the show to not only you, but also to your husband. And it reminds me of a joke that I like to make where I keep saying I need a wife with ADHD because she'd be more understanding. But I think that if you have just as a life cheat code, if you have a supportive partner, it goes a long way, especially if you have ADHD. So the person that you pick matters. The friends that you pick matter. These are big things. All right. So number three, write it out and embrace your emotions, right? So if you're feeling sad, sometimes you can write things out, right? And embrace your emotions. It goes a long way. And, out of a lot of great things have come out of sadness, and or depression, right? I think about, people like Adele and Taylor Swift, or people who make like sad music or, I'm not saying that they always make sad music, but they were able to take their emotions and they channeled it into music, right? They found the outlet, and they made their suffering count, right? We're all going to suffer. Like suffering is just a part of life. But when you can, have a purpose to your suffering it gives you, that gratification. Like, okay, yes, I suffered, and yes, I may suffer in the future, but at least like I feel like I know why I'm suffering, right? It's important to have a why to the suffering, right? And with this right here, if you have the book, if you don't have the book, you can just write this on a piece of paper, right? But we're gonna use 102 in the book, page 102 in the book right here. And I guess if you on your phone, maybe you can screenshot this. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe you can screenshot it. All right, but anyway, under the activity section, it says for this activity, think about the last time you were in a funk. Maybe you were going through a rough breakup, or you just felt like you weren't where you wanted to be in life. Now that you're on the other side of the funk, think about ways that you embraced the suck. Did you learn something valuable from that breakup? Did you realize you wanted to start a new career, right? So we're going to think about the last time that we were in a tough situation and we got out of it, right? So just writing that out is helpful because it helps you realize that, okay, the next time I go through a difficult situation, I can overcome, right? So in the Kayla, this is my book, Feeling Good, a mental health workbook. I signed it, and then now I wrote like a little note to myself, just to like keep you motivated. But in the comment section, think about the last time, and you all can comment. When was the last time that you went through something difficult, and how did you get through that? Right? You can just type that in the chat instead of writing it in the book. But let me know when you went through something difficult and how you overcame it. Let me go first. Difficult time I've been through. I guess if we're talking about breakups, let's talk about breakups. So my last breakup, 2019. How did I get through it? Well, to be honest, I was drinking a lot and things like that. But once I learned, healthy ways, what I would do is I would go to the gym and I got a therapist, and that was helpful for me. So doing those two things and my mood going back up allowed me to know that I could get through things. Right. Zoe, sit. Can y'all see Zoe? Come here, Zoe. Come here. This dog is ridiculous. All right, since you want the spotlight, here you go. All right. Let me see. All right. My mom and dad died 9 months apart due to COVID. Don't really know if I overcame it. I still struggle. Well, Fallon, first of all, sorry for your loss. I'm very sorry to see this. And you're still here. So I would argue that you have overcome it, or you're doing small things, that show that you're making some progress. And, the last sentence right there, I still struggle. There's this expectation that after things happen, you should, get over it. And I think that's making us sad, right? Like we're not going to get over everything. Sometimes you may never fully finish grieving a certain thing, and think about why you grieve. You grieve because you care, because those people meant a lot to you, So I would say give yourself a little bit more credit, and just by you being here, just by you sharing, and you're sharing off of YouTube, so it's nice to see that you're coming from YouTube, but just by you sharing, you're doing a really good job. And keep in mind that like it's unrealistic to expect somebody to lose both parents, within 9 months and to just act like it never happened, right? So you have to give yourself a lot of credit. Let me see. Amanda says, my mom passed in June. I was an alcoholic already and got worse after that. With help from my family, I checked into rehab. Even though this holiday season was super rough and sad without her, I stuck through it, and I'm almost 7 months sober. All right, I gotta give you Zoe, Kennel. Zoe, go to the kennel. Good girl, kennel. So Amanda, I'm extremely proud of you. I have to give you a love of the show. Love of the show. This is very difficult, especially for people who are working on the sobriety, because when you go through a hard time, sometimes you want to go to what's worked in the past. So, I'm very proud of you right here. All right. Carly says, in August, my grad school internship didn't hire me and I was crushed. I felt like it was my calling to work for them and I was rejected. So now I've been working in my current job since November and honestly learning a lot more than I would have had I gotten that position in August. What I learned was to just hold on to faith. I trusted that I would find the job that was right for me. Congratulations, Carly. And like a lot of times when I experience rejection, I like to tell myself that things happen for me, right? And I was rejected from whatever, from a person or from a job or from an opportunity, because it kind of, the rejection redirected me to where I needed to be. So congratulations, Carly. I'm super proud of you. And let me read a couple of things. Sometimes, yeah, one day at a time. One day. That's all we can do. Jacqueline says, last difficult time was New Year's, since holidays can be depressing for me, and I struggle with seasonal affective disorder. But I was able to overcome it with the help of my therapist and life coach. I love this. And like when you see that people have gone through things and then they've overcome it, or they're in the process of overcoming it, that's inspirational. It makes you believe that you can also get through what you're going through. Dealing with betrayal after having my son and trying to be a single mom too, I surrounded myself with people who cared and journaled a lot and prayed. Congrats, Patrina. And congrats on 7 months to Amanda. That's fantastic. The starting with the smallest thing really helped. I'm finally folding clothes that have been sitting there for more than a week now. Thank you. All right, so we already gave Olivia a love of the show, but we'll give her a double love of the show. And on these live streams, feel free, I don't know what y'all are doing while you're watching. I'm assuming that the majority of y'all are watching from a phone, but feel free to fold clothes while you're watching the live stream. Feel free to do the dishes. Feel free to, to do things that you kind of left, like I'm looking right there in my room. I got a couple of clothes to fold. It take me like 5-10 minutes to do it, but I'm like, nah, I'll get to it later, So if you got some clothes to fold, feel free to fold them during the live stream. Layla, I'm here. My husband out of town and just got off the phone. What's up? Yeah, I know, Layla, for some reason, the live stream didn't give some people a notification, I think. And I did get a package. I got a package. You told me to check the thing, so let me open that package real quick. Let me see. Let me open this real quick, and then we'll get to the water break. I know it's 30 minutes. All right. So I'm opening up a package that I guess somebody sent to me. I don't know who sent it to me, but let me check it out. I'm opening up on the live stream too. Mickey, what we got here? Oh, yo, it's a Venture Pal Hydrate and Style. Let me see what we got right here. Oh, hello, fancy. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I don't know if this came from Leilani or some, but I really appreciate this. Now I'm opening up like a kid on Christmas. Zoe, Kennel, Zoe. Be a good dog. Kennel. Good Zoe. Good girl. Good Zoe. Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. Look at this. Wow. Okay. I appreciate this. It says, good morning. Hydrate yourself. Remember your goal. Keep chugging. Feeling awesome. Don't give up. Almost finished. You did it. Thank you. So I don't know who said this, but thank you so much. This means a lot to me. Because, I have to remember to drink water throughout the day because I forget. That's why we have the water break. So thank you so much. It's from Kendra. Kendra, thank you so much. I appreciate this. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. And once again, this is a recap of the 3 things to do when you feel sad. Number 1, do the easiest thing on your to-do list. Number 2, talk to someone you trust. And number 3, write it out and embrace your emotions. And Ferris, very sorry to hear that. I'm sending you love and support as well. Kayla, let me see. I lost my father 10 years ago. And keep my head up, working, taking day by day. And sometimes when people go through grief or they're experiencing grief, I think it's helpful to find something to keep you busy, not to avoid it, but something to give you purpose. I'm very, very sorry to hear about this, Kayla. And Jacqueline is doing dishes and organizing my kitchen. I like that. I have clothes everywhere to fold. Hey, one thing at a time. Amanda, yes, I'll make more videos on ADHD versus bipolar, and also I gotta make videos on ADHD and bipolar too, because you can have both, and sometimes people are like, oh, can you have you can have ADHD and bipolar disorder, which it might make things difficult, but it's not impossible. It's not impossible. All right, can we get uh magic word so we can get to the water break? Oh, this is sick. I appreciate this. This is hella sick. I appreciate this. This is dope. Wow. This is dope. I appreciate this. This is sick. This is really sick. Wow. Thank you so much, Kendra. I really appreciate that. All right. Someone drop the magic word in there. Cheers. All right, perfect. The magic word on this show is cheers. And whenever you see cheers, it gives us a chance to go ahead and get some water in, so we can get hydrated. All right. Cheers, y'all. And I wouldn't recommend chugging water like this, but literally this might be like the second time I've drunk water all day. Seriously. So I do appreciate this. I mean, I have water to go to the gym, but my brain doesn't think to drink water. So I was quite thirsty. I drank for water break. Yeah. Oh, there's a note in the box. Oh, hold up. There's a note. Oh, shoot, Mickey. Let me see. There's a note in the box. Oh, wow. Okay. Then I haven't seen it. Let me read the note. A gift for you. You are doing amazing things by using your social media platform to raise awareness for mental health. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be a moderator on your live streams and Discord. Cheers from Kendra. Kendra, I appreciate that. Oh, my fault. I didn't know you didn't want me to read it. My fault. But no, I appreciate you. I should have been looking at the comments first. No, but this means a lot. I really appreciate you for being a moderator. It means a lot to have this community grow. Yeah. Sometimes I jump the gun, right? But no, I appreciate it, and I like this platform means a lot, because I think back to when I first started this whole thing on TikTok, and this was during the pandemic, and I couldn't even see my family. Like, it was hard to get out. Like, we had to be in the house, we couldn't go to restaurants. So I got on social media, and then I started to do this thing over and over, and I would go on live streams on TikTok Live at first. And I would go on there almost nightly. And that was like my version of socializing, because I like to talk to people. So, being stuck in the house wasn't really working for me. So the fact that I can continue this 3 years later, I really, really appreciate this. So thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. This is a good show. So yeah, we'll be wrapping up the show. Yeah, I got a dip. We'll wrap up the show, but the next show will be on Thursday at 9 o'clock Eastern time, 6 o'clock in California. I am wearing the Gaming with Dr. Kojo shirt, so I do want to do some more gaming streams, and whenever I do Gaming with Dr. Kojo, I'm just gonna make it like I'm just gonna answer questions. That's my goal right now. Whenever I go into gaming streams, I'm just gonna answer questions, because people have questions from all over. So whenever you see this shirt and I got like the gaming headset on, I'm gonna answer as many questions as possible. So I really appreciate you all. I've been following since the pandemic. Fallon, thank you so much. Yeah, no, I'll let my team know. It's not priority, but it is priority to me. All right. Okay, so I do have to oh wow, let me see. Hey, congratulations. And yeah, I would love to do one of these public events or something like that where we invite as many people over, and I don't know how these things work, because I'm not the most organized, but eventually I'd love to do something like this. But wow, congratulations. All right, y'all. So until next week, Thursday, take care. Love y'all, and I appreciate y'all. Peace. Yee! I like it that you wrote like that. All right, take care. Love y'all.